me a story, and I'll be your magic. Oh how I love how you love me. There's no me without you.
Hello, Christine. Hi, Wade.
Hi, Gary. Hi, Christine.
Hello, Gary. Hello, Wade.
Hi, Rudy.
Hi, Christine, and hi, Wade.
Hello, happy 20th.
Happy 20th. Wow. That video, that was so amazing. It actually was just so moving. I find it almost hard to speak because, you know, I have goosebumps watching all those memories, and we're here today to make more memories. Actually, it's a very special day. It's our 20th anniversary at AmaWaterways. So welcome to all of you. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. We thank you for joining us for this very special celebration. Our trusted travel advisor partners, our loyal guests who are joining us today, and also our new guests. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to join us for this very, very special event. We will have live moderators for the Sip and Sail behind the scenes, and we would be so happy if you would send your comments, and especially as so many of you have cruised with us, if you have a special comment for your favorite cruise manager or crew member or captain, wellness host, reservations agent, BDM, whoever it might be sure to send your comments, and our moderators, multilingual behind the scenes, will be happy to convey your wonderful messages to them. So thank you so much for joining us. And let me quickly introduce myself. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Wade. Originally from Monterey, California. I know Rudy, Christine, Garrett, you're just in Pebble Beach on my peninsula. So kind of missing home. I'm from Monterey, and I joined AmaWaterways 19 years ago in 2003. I joined as cruise manager, and in 2004, after a wonderful dinner in Remich, Luxembourg with Rudy and Christine, you will remember that amazing dinner, we decided to open up the European office of AmaWaterways. So I did that in 2005 with my partner, Leo. We've been managing the European office for the last 17 years up until 2022. So it's a huge honor to be part of this wonderful family and to be here at this special sip and sail. And I've got the honor to introduce our co-founders and owners, the most amazing people ever. And I would like to start actually with the one who actually gains the nickname Godfather of River Cruising, who has been recognized as the most innovative cruise executive and who was presented with the prestigious Lifetime Achievement Award by CLIA. I mean, we could go on and on, of course, but our president and co-founder, Mr. Rudy Schreiner. Hello, Rudy.
Hello, everybody. When I was asked to join this webinar, I wasn't quite sure what all I will talk about, and nobody in my team actually they never know what I'm going to say. So when I thought this morning what I'm going to talk about, it's interesting because the years ending in a 2 have been always big years in my life. So I'm celebrating not only the 20th anniversary of AmaWaterways, but I'm celebrating 4 different big years. This year, I turned 70 years old, so I'm 70, big celebration. 40 years ago, exactly 40 years ago, in 1982, I came to Los Angeles and opened my first tour company, STI, Student Travel International. 30 years ago, in 1992, I joined Love Holidays, today better known as Uniworld. That's where I started the first development of river cruising in Europe at Uniworld 30 years ago. And now 20 years ago, that's when I started with Christine and Jimmy Murphy, AmaWaterways. So 4 big celebrations for me. Nobody knows about that except me. So talking about river cruising and what happened there, my first company, STI, Student Travel, did well, but then in 1991, 92, with the Gulf War and also the Yugoslavian War, things went very sour all over the world, all over Europe with travel. I shut down my company and I joined Love Holidays. Love Holidays at that time was a motor coach tour company with mostly focusing on tours to Eastern Europe and Yugoslavia. And with the Yugoslavian War, I was hired there to start up new products. And I was reading an article about the opening of the Rhine-Danube Canal, today called the Main-Danube Canal, but originally it was the Rhine-Danube connecting the Rhine River with the Danube. In about 800 years ago, King Charlemagne already tried to build a canal connecting those 2 main rivers in Europe, but he failed. And about a little over 100 years ago, they tried it again. And finally, in 1992, that canal was opened. And that canal connects 15 European countries. So with one ship, you can reach 15 countries. And with that, that was one of the ideas to start cruising Amsterdam to Budapest. And I created about 5 or 6 different programs. River cruising was one of them, and then eventually Uniworld became a river cruise line. I was at Uniworld until 2000. Then I left Uniworld. I opened Viking River Cruises. I had a 2-year contract at Viking River Cruises, and at the end of the 2 years, I decided to start our own cruise line. So I had a non-compete that ended on June 30th. So today was the end of my non-compete. And at midnight, July 1, I went online and I incorporated our new cruise line. So that's the big celebration now here. Yeah, it's midnight. So we are celebrating the last day, and at midnight, the big boom happens. So that's a little bit of my story. I have an absolutely fantastic team, and we are again slowly blessed that people can come back to the office. And so this year is a good transition year, and hopefully we'll go back to normal things again. I mean, just as a reminder to all of you, yeah, the Yugoslavian War went on from 1991 till 2001. Maybe many people don't even realize how long that war lasted. But the official ending came only in 2001. We cruised down the Danube at Uniworld during those times when the bridge in Vukovar in Croatia was bombed. They built a pontoon bridge which was opened only once a week on Tuesdays. Yeah, but people slowly got used to the war being there and so on. So it might be, we might go through a similar situation today. This might be a very long-lasting war in the Ukraine, but I think after a while people will get used to it and so on. And so we'll see. It shouldn't affect the future in the long run. So hopefully all this goes away. But anyway, long history in the last 40 years with different events in the world, and always be positive. It always comes back. People want to travel, people want to explore the world, and the moment they can go again, and we are so blessed that just a few weeks ago, the US government ended the negative testing requirements to return back to the US. So since about a week ago, last week, we see a really nice uptick in the bookings again. So things look good. Bless you all, and thank you for being here.
Thank you, Rudy, for taking us down memory lane, because you've been around a while. And think about it, all those years, you have changed so many lives, and you've changed my life for sure. And if I think about it now, we celebrate our 25-year anniversary because you hired me in 1997 at Uniworld. So for us, it's 25 years. And you know, after Uniworld, you moved on and you met the most amazing person who I'm happy to introduce now, which is another fearless leader. And she is our mentor, and she guides us every day. She inspires us with her philosophy of her 4 Ps. So her 4 Ps being passion, partnerships, positive thinking, and personal interaction. And those are so important. I know that those are really important for Christine and for all of us at AmaWaterways. So a big welcome to you, Christine Karsh, our Executive Vice President and co-founder.
Well, thank you so much, Wade. Thank you, Rudy. Thank you, Gary. Thanks to all of you, our wonderful travel partners. I think today around the world. So good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all of you. When we started our company 20 years ago with our first ship, we had a dream to create a world of unparalleled experiences on the rivers. These unique waterways in Europe, also often called the former Autobahn. And of course, you all know I come from Germany. So I was going by car, these Autobahns, so often in my former life. And of course, now I see the rivers, the ships on the rivers do the same. So all these rivers were helping to fulfill the dreams of so many guests, and will do so in the future. In these 20 years of our most wonderful partnership and friendship with you, our travel advisors and our guests, we gained so much wisdom and hindsight from the experience. This is invaluable. As we turn the pages of the first 2 chapters of the book, enjoy thinking of the dreams and most magical vacations of our guests, your clients, our travel advisors, and the impact of thousands of crew members, guides, workers, and other people that have played a substantial part of our AmaWaterways history, from banging a nail into a ship to meet and greet at the airport, or loading boxes of fresh vegetables and fish to one of our 26 ships. We enjoy the very best memories before turning to the third chapter. So how has river cruising changed in the last 20 years, and especially post-COVID? And why does it appeal to more and more people of all age groups? And how is AmaWaterways again at the forefront to make all the dreams of our guests come true? Well, I always say river cruising in general combines the advantages of both the ocean and a tour. You unpack once and you really never lose time, because the ship or our floating boutique hotels bring you from one place to the next. And I know, Rudy, you're always saying you physically double your leisure time on board a river cruise ship, because you don't have to deal with all the logistics, going to the airport, renting a car, finding the best guides, and so on. We all take care of you. And there are never long lines. You come to the ship, in a minute you are on board, you are in your beautiful stateroom. So everything is very, very easy. And of course, being small, the intimacy is perfect for today's vacation world. Everyone wants to be in a small atmosphere where you are Mr. and Mrs. and not a number. And that's, of course, our genuine crew and our cruise managers who welcome you on board. You become part of this family and they guide you through everything. And for you, it's just there to relax, to get pampered, and to create friendships for life and the most magical memories. So creating content and building relationships that resonate with people, that is really what we like. And we know that today, everyone just, would like to be pampered, and we cater to all the different interests. The groups are smaller. We have so many different tours included, from our city tours to culinary adventures, tasting bites and local delights, wellness, groups and tours, hiking, biking, and so much more. And of course, now it's almost July, and I'm thinking about how beautiful it is for all our guests to be in the Wachau Valley, where the apricots are really full right now and getting harvested. And I'm sure that all of you enjoy so much of it. So it is truly catering to your own interest, making sure that you have a most seamless vacation. We always have tried to put ourselves into our clients' shoes, because we just want you to experience something that we would like to have. And in all these years, we were lucky and fortunate enough to surround us with people that would share the same core values with us. And that is truly a dedication to the best customer service, to a most genuine customer service that is there, of course, connected with all the beautiful innovations that are created, led by Rudy, the mastermind behind and the godfather of not just, AmaWaterways, but the entire river cruise industry. So, and from here, of course, Gary, or better back to Wade, I know you have so much to add on to it.
Christine, thank you so much. I was listening to you and talking about being pampered on board. I just came off a cruise from Nuremberg to Luxembourg. I mean, what a beautiful cruise. The Main River and the Moselle River are just gems. And we were so pampered on board. I have to say, it's just, life is much easier on board than actually coming home and having to cook for yourself and do your own dishes. So I certainly look forward to going back on board. And we met so many people on board the AmaCerto. I mean, I'm thinking right now, Esther, one of our travel advisors, probably watching right now, maybe together with Josette. And we talked to Deb Carley yesterday, and it's all about family. Ama means love, and we always talk about family. And of course, the Murphy family is just so important for us. And from Jimmy to Susan to everyone, but of course, you know, Gary's here with us. And let me tell you, Gary is really probably the most lovable guy you will ever meet anywhere, and just so much fun. So our co-founder, Gary, welcome to you. We love you.
Wade, thank you. And I'll never forget the first time we met. Well, I was with my father. I believe we were in, was it in Budapest when we first met, Wade?
Well, we say Budapest, but then I made up a story that we met out shopping for pumpkins in Vienna, and you agreed to that.
Well, you know what? It's reflecting over the last 20 years, and it makes me just feel very, very grateful to be part of the whole AMA relationship. And I remember Dad, I mean, Rudy, Dad used to work selling Medjugorje, I think it was, in the early days with Love Holidays. And now, you know, you coming to go aboard there, putting the programs together and putting in river cruising together. And I know at that point in time, you started developing a relationship with my father. And I remember Dad saying to me when he first met you that I met one of the most interesting individuals. I think you probably we're sharing a story about you building a raft and going down the Amazon or driving across to Afghanistan from Central Europe. But either way, Dad was very much a traveler, and just like Rudy and Christine. And Dad was also an entrepreneur. And meeting other entrepreneurs like Rudy and Christine, it's one thing when you identify an opportunity, it's another thing to act upon it. And Rudy, Christine, my father, acted upon something and put together a company 20 years ago that is still in operation today, which is no easy task. It's difficult enough just to put the company together, but to make it blossom and grow like AmaWaterways has. I was running Brendan Tours at the time, and we were selling AmaWaterways. And just the excitement even at the Brendan Tours side about the product. To Christine's point, we went into this business from our perspective because it was a perfect for the tour client, but it's a perfect vacation for so many other people, especially people coming from the big rivers. And for my father, at his point in his life, you know, later in his life, to start a company with Rudy and Christine at that point in his life was such a blessing to really just have this opportunity again later on in his life. I mean, Rudy, who was close to 70 years old, Dad was at that time, and to have this opportunity to be working with the two of you, developing this business. I'm hopefully he recognizes where we are today. My mom always says, oh, I wish Dad were here today to see what's happening. But either way, it's a phenomenal company. And again, Christine, Rudy, you've touched upon it. It's the team that we work with, the people we come into the office, the people in London, the people in Basel, the people in Vietnam, all our colleagues throughout the world. They're all, I believe, share the enthusiasm to put their best into AMA, ensuring all of our guests have the best experiences with traveling. And I believe that's one of the reasons, probably the main reason why we're so successful today. And I'm just thankful to be very, very thankful to be part of AmaWaterways.
Absolutely, Gary, and you hit the nail on the head. It's all about that passion for what we all do, everyone there. Christine mentioned like the one putting the nail into the wood, like all these people that have contributed. This is all the AmaWaterways family. And this all started, of course, in 2002. So I'm actually going to leave you guys because we would like you to take us through those years. Take us back to 2002 and walk us through, because it's been an amazing journey. I will leave you, and I'll see you in a bit as we hear the story of the last 20 years.
Alrighty, you're on mute.
Sorry, yeah.
There you go.
Okay, so is Christine starting or am I starting?
I think you're starting. No. No,
Okay.
you're starting this portion, Rudy. Being the founder and everything, you know, the father of river cruising, we should start off with you.
Thank you. So when we started the first ship we had was a leased ship in Europe, the Amadeus Symphony. Yeah, we leased it for 4 years, and then we added slowly product after product. We chartered a few ships here and there. We started with Russia, and eventually we had enough to build our first own ship. Yeah. So in 2003 already, when we started our first season, we decided that our cruise managers will escort the people from airport to airport, and not only be cruise managers, but that they will go pick up the people, take them to the land program, be on a cruise, and take them all the way to the end, which was a very unique situation, which no other cruise line at that time did. We also introduced complimentary wine with dinner, which eventually everybody else adopted, and it became lunch and dinner, and then it also became champagne for breakfast. We wanted always to have good internet connection. So already in the initial lease ships, we wanted to have good Wi-Fi, but once we started building our own ship, for me it was important that every stateroom has a computer, that we have Wi-Fi throughout the ships. And also then the next step was the onboard entertainment. We started bringing local entertainment in most of the ports onto the ship. One of the biggest success stories was our group of La Strada, classical music. Yeah, a group that was performing in Brussels, in Antwerp, out on in front of the church, and they were so good that we eventually hired them to perform on board our ships, and they are doing a fantastic job still today. In 2005, then we decided to build our first ship, the AmaWaterways. The reason we I came up with these crazy names, you know, when I was at Uniworld, we named the ships River Queen, River Duchess, River Empress, River Countess, and so on. And I thought, when you go into the internet and look for the River Queen, you find every river and every queen, but you will never find the ship. So with unique names, you will have also easy access to find the information about it. So Ama means love, and then we attached a musical term to it. So adagio, amadagio, allegro, amallegro. So we came with musical terms and ama. So most of our ships are named that way until we ran out of musical terms a few years ago, because there are lots of musical terms, but many don't sound too great. So now we are having ships like Ama Lucia, Ama Siena. Maybe we are going to Italian towns. But that was kind of the development until about 2006 with our first ship. When we built the first ship, I went on every different European river ship to see about design, development, what's in, what's out, what has changed, and what makes the most sense. So from the time I was starting at Uniworld to the time we built the AmaWaterways, I changed my mind several times, but then the AmaWaterways design stuck. And so I researched online every cruise line, what the cabins looked like. I researched hotels because I didn't like most of the cabins. I found a hotel in New York, which I really liked, the room setup. And then in Photoshop, I converted that room into a cabin. I'm very good in Photoshop, so be careful when you send me a picture of you. I can do a lot with it. And then I sent this converted picture to Europe and said, this is how I want the staterooms to look like. So that's kind of the initial story. And I think, Gary, you continue on, I guess, with the bikes.
Well, it's interesting, Rudy, how they used to move a lot of the ships along the Rhine and the Danube in the early days before, I guess, engines were developed, was they towed them along these paths. And then as the shipping developed, they converted those paths, a lot of the paths to bike paths. So all along these magnificent rivers in Europe, you have these bike paths. And thankfully, Rudy and the team decided, okay, let's put some bikes on board. And they were a huge success because people could go out and explore the towns, or they could just ride along the banks of the river. And I remember being in the Netherlands, and there were 6 ladies on board, and I never saw them during the day. And I said, where do you go during the day? And it met with the captain and started riding the bikes ahead of the ship and meeting the ship in next ports. And so he said, we started doing our own biking programs with our own biking guides. And today it's developed into where we have 2 guides, a guide that's at the beginning of the group of the pack, and the one at the back of the pack to go out and explore the cities. And sometimes they still ride from port to port. And it's been a tremendous success. And like many of the first, other people have copied us, but we really came out with a fantastic biking program. I believe we're the only people still that have 2 guides along with the bikes. Then we went into twin balcony cabins. And I remember Rudy, actually, we were in the wine country in Santa Barbara. Was it Los Olivos, Rudy?
Los Olivos, yes.
And you got that famous napkin out and started drafting up on the proverbial back of a napkin, a ship design, a ship layout, but most importantly, a twin balcony cabin, where in your stateroom, you have the benefit of having a French balcony with a beautiful glass window and a step out balcony that you could sit with your legs crossed and look at all the scenery coming, presenting itself in front of you, which again is a unique architectural design to AMA, which many of our guests truly enjoy today. We also had the first celebration wine cruise. And again, some of these things happen by chance. Rudy and Christine were cruising, was it on the Danube where you met Jim Clendenin, Rudy, Christine?
No, actually, Christine and I every year went to the Central Coast Wine Classic up in Paso Robles. That's where we met Jim Clendenin.
And you invite him on a cruise, and then Jim did a wine tasting. I think it was one of the highest rated cruises of the year. And so we thought, let's purposely do this. We went out and found these beautiful vintners throughout the United States. We invite them on the ships. We bring their wines. We do these new world, old world tastings. They bring their friends on board. They're still one of the highest, some of the highest excursions or highest experiences we offer on AMA. It's a younger clientele. If you haven't done a wine cruise, be prepared to enjoy a lot of wines in a wonderful atmosphere with some very interesting hosts. And the program has really expanded today. If you know a local vintner and they want to come on board an AMA ship and bring their wines, please talk to someone at AMA and we can make it happen.
And of course, these wine cruises happen in, for me, one of the best seasons of the year. And this is post-harvest time in late October, early November, when all the vineyards along the rivers change to their vibrant golden, yellow, orange, red colors. And it's just a beautiful celebration all around on board our ships, as well as, of course, ashore. We will visit some really wonderful old wine cellars, some underground and some tasting outside in the vineyards. But talking about wine, I mean, the culinary theme, food and wine, is still the #1. And we felt that there was a lot of perception about river cruising. It is only for more mature people. There's not much to do. Everything is too regulated. The cuisine is maybe not good enough. So we wanted to add another fine dining place to our ships, where we would create a special tasting menu. And it would not be the big dining room. It would be just for a small group of people in a very exclusive atmosphere. So 2012, our Chef's Table restaurant was born, which first we talked about the name. We called it Erlebnis restaurant because Erlebnis is a German word and it translates into English as experience. But then nobody understood the word. And so we changed it just a little bit later to the Chef's Table, which I know is for all our guests when they come on board, a big must to experience at least once on a 7-night cruise, the Chef's Table restaurant. Actually, the biggest compliment we got about this was from a wine group in Napa, where the wine host said, Christine, this restaurant cannot only match, but even is better than the French Laundry in Napa. And you don't pay $1,000, it's all included. So that was wonderful, and we are very, very proud of this restaurant and hope that many of you will come and join us there in the future. But I also mentioned the more senior travelers, the perception that you have to be 80 plus to enjoy a river cruise. And that is absolutely not true, because we saw so many younger guests coming already on board, multi-generation. I saw a grandma of 80 with her 8-year-old grandchildren. And I was always asking, so how do you enjoy it? Is it something for the younger ones? And they all really, really loved it. So a little bit later, 2016, after we had just started our partnership with Adventures by Disney, we built the first ships, the AmaViola and the AmaStella, with the first connecting staterooms for families. And every ship in Europe that was built afterwards has family connecting staterooms. Now, back to the name, AmaViola. And I know we have the godmother of the AmaViola, Jackie, here as well. Rudy, viola is actually a musical theme. It's an instrument, and at the same time, a female name as well. So that's the hybrid. Then we continued with the female names. And then, of course, now we go to Italy, just because it is still the most beautiful country in the world. But back to AmaLucia and the family theme. AmaLucia this year, on July 31st, will be questioned by a brother and a sister duo. And there is a whole story behind, but you have our dedication to families coming on board, because I believe we all will remember when we were children and our parents took us on these first trips. That's when we made our memories. That's when we got the travel back into our blood. And we all agree, if everyone would travel, the world would be a much, much better place. So you, our audience, our guests, our travel partners, please instill the love of travel in the young generation and always think about river cruising. So now let's go to the next generation, which I feel I'm part of it, like the middle-aged one now, right? We try to expand our lifespan. We see how beautiful life is, but we have to do something for it. And when you enjoy all the great cuisine on board, or you work all the time, you need to do something for your mind, for your body, for your spirit. So in 2017, we started our very first wellness program with a dedicated wellness host. And that was on board Amalura with our wellness host, Selena, who came on board. And she is, of course, still with us. And now today, every ship in Europe, as well as our Amadara on the Mekong, have a dedicated wellness host, where we start with stretching, core or champagne yoga classes. We do a lot outside on the sun deck when the weather is nice, including actually certain dance classes. And then, of course, we continue into the late hours with any type of wellness classes. So our wellness hosts are certified, most of them sports scientists. And we see more and more of our guests participating in the wellness programs. And if it's just a digestive walk after the nice lunch on the sun deck. So please come and join us if this is something for you. And then, of course, I need to mention a big highlight for AmaWaterways, but also for me personally, and for all the Christinas among our travel advisors, among our own team members, our cruise managers, among you, our guests. So 2017 actually came the Ama Christina, a ship that was supposed to be built first for the Elbe River. I was born in Dresden on the Elbe River in Germany. But then climate change is something that we have to take serious. Some of the rivers are drying out, the water gets lower, and the Elbe River, unfortunately, is one of the rivers there it has become quite unpredictable. And we want to cruise all the time, right? We do not want to become the tour company. So by 2018, the Ama Christina became the first river cruise ship to receive the Green Award, because it's very important for all of us that we take sustainability very serious. It is hugely important. So now 20 of our European ships have the Green Award. So Rudy, back to you, because there came something really magnificent afterwards.
Okay, and I need to make this short because I can talk now another hour about it, but I see we're already running a little bit behind schedule. So let me make this short. So in 2019, debut of the Ama Magna. The Ama Magna, double as wide as all the other ships. The Ama Magna was a project that was about 5 years in the making, and we finally realized it. And it is a fantastic ship. Absolutely outrageous, crazy, wonderful to be on board every single time. 4 restaurants, big movie theater, wellness, spin bikes, and so on and so on. It's really something. But the best part about the Magna are the staterooms. The staterooms, the owner suite, 710 square feet, 6 large suites at 460 square feet, and the majority of the staterooms are 355 square feet, as big as the suites on our other ships. So it is a fantastic, fantastic experience. The Ama Magna can cruise only on the Danube because of the locks. The locks on the Danube are double as wide as when you go through the Main-Danube Canal. So this is a must for everybody. You have to go one time on the Magna, and you will go back again and again. So there are lots of things going on. I'm always looking for new rivers. I'm always looking for new ships, new programs. And now we are working on a brand new program on the Magdalena River in Colombia. And this is all built up from scratch. That means we have to develop docking stations, the itineraries, the excursion boats, and so on. So hopefully we are planning to have it ready by 2024. It's not sure yet how long things will take, but it will be a fantastic program once it's operating. And once it's operating, we'll guarantee you'll have a fantastic time. Again, last September, we restarted Egypt with the Amadalia. Extremely successful. The Amadalia has been running pretty full the whole season, and we are building a second ship starting in 2024. So lots of activities, lots of things going on. But let's move on here to Wade.
I think before Wade is coming back, I would like us to raise the glass
Okay.
to a very, very special toast. So this is our special AMA 20 cocktail. So this cocktail that we are all holding in our hands was developed by Chef Joanne Weir while she was on board on the Danube filming episodes for her PBS show Plates and Places. And Joanne was inspired by the fresh apricots of the Wachau Valley, and the refreshing cocktail is perfect for summer sipping as it has apricot nectar, apricot liqueur, and sparkling wine. So let us know if you would like the recipe. I know our moderators would be happy to share it with you all, and I can truly say, it is delicious. But a quote from Ibn Battuta, a Mashrebi scholar and explorer from 1300s, is something that I would like to raise the glass to, because I feel it is so meaningful. Traveling first leaves you speechless, then turns you into a storyteller. So a toast to the remarkable and everlasting joys of traveling. Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers.
Definitely apricots.
You like it?
Yeah.
Delicious.
It is delicious.
It looks so delicious. I'd love to be in the Calabasas office with you to have that special AMA20 drink. You see, I've just joined you again, but I have my red wine. I'm ready for the wine cruise. So it was so wonderful that to go through those 20 years with you, and Gary and Rudy sharing all those memories, and of course, Christine, what you were talking about. And you were talking actually about the christening, and you are, of course, godmother of the Ama Christina, which we christened in Landstein, Germany. It was a beautiful ceremony. And, we've christened, of course, every single ship, meaning that we've named the ship and we've blessed the ship. And the very first christening was in 2006 in Amsterdam, the Amadagio. I'll never forget when Rudy, you and I, we were standing in the lounge, and Rudy came to me 5 minutes before the ceremony and said, "Oh, can you be the master of ceremonies?" I'm like, "What is that? What do I have to do?" And that sort of started this tradition that, I'm always doing that at the christenings. And we've done many christenings since then. Of course, Ama Magna. This was like the dance party on the sun deck. You were talking about like younger travelers and active travelers. My goodness, what a wonderful and amazing party we had, and full of young people. So it definitely is multi-generational, and it's a perfect time for families to come on board. And we've had many families this year with the grandmother and the children of the children. So just absolutely amazing. And today for our sip and sail, we have two more, not just you, Christine, two more special godmothers are with us. I'll just tell you a little bit about them. We do have our next guest who joined Nexion in 2004 and has served as president of the Nexion Group for the last 15 years. And she's the godmother of the beautiful Ama Viola, which was christened in Vilshofen. So the ship today, by the way, is in Budapest. Cruise manager Peter Whitehead is on board. Many of you know Pete because he's been with us since 2006. And this guest, Jackie Friedman, godmother of the Ama Viola, I have to tell you a little bit of trivia. She was a trombone player until she was almost evicted from her apartment. So
Exactly.
it's a good thing maybe that you kept your apartment, stop the trombone playing, Jackie. But welcome to
It's
you.
a good thing for a lot of people, Wade.
We'll have to hear you play the trombone sometime in another sip and sail. And we have another godmother with us today, a very special one, who actually has over 30 years of experience in the travel industry and is vice president of strategic alliance at AmaWaterways, our godmother of the Ama Sonata, who is also, like Jackie, Canadian. So we know we have a lot of Canadians, Canadian travel advisors, and Canadian guests watching in today. And tomorrow is Canada Day. So Brenda, Jackie, both of you, big welcome to you. And in advance, because it's almost July 1st here, happy Canada Day. Yeah, both of you and to all of you.
Thank you.
So Jackie, why don't you take us through it? Why don't you take us back to the christening and tell us a little bit about your story with AmaWaterways?
I mean, that day, I can remember it perfectly. It was a beautiful day. And I remember we had the opportunity to go to Vilshofen in advance of the ship and get prepared, get ready. And I will never forget standing out on the pier, literally watching my ship come in. You know, you hear that term, and there was a band playing and there were dancers getting ready. And it is a moment I will never forget. It seemed like everyone in town came out and really got engaged. My family was there with me, and the bottle broke first time, which it's so funny, and Brenda and Christine can probably appreciate this. You know, I got on board and Captain Jan kept saying to me, "Are you nervous? Are you nervous?" And I wasn't nervous, but I said, "I'm not, but should I be?" And but it was wonderful. We had a chance to practice breaking the bottle, but it was just a magical experience that was almost rivaled by my very first river cruise experience. It was back New Year's 2008 to 2009. I had an opportunity to meet Christine and Rudy for the first time, my first AMA cruise, as well as my first river cruise. And it was on the Amacello. And I will never forget standing up on the deck New Year's Eve. It was freezing, but we had our champagne in hand. And it was the year that Linz, Austria was becoming a cultural capital. So they had a 500 voice choir up on the bridge, singing at midnight, drinking champagne, watching fireworks, hearing this choir. It was just one of those magical experiences that got me hooked. And there was no looking back from there. We've enjoyed a wonderful partnership with AmaWaterways. Our advisors love the product. And I look forward to many more cruises ahead of me, whether it's the Viola or any other beautiful ships. It's just a fantastic product, and it was a fantastic honor to have the opportunity to be godmother.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And all the ships are sisters anyway, Jackie, right? And we always welcome our younger sisters to the family. So your support and of course the support of your organization NextGen means the world to us, and every support, of course. So thank you so much. And thank you for everything what you are doing for the industry, because our godmothers, they're chosen very wisely. And every godmother has really created so much good for the industry, is a mentor to our younger generation that gets into travel, and just has a wonderful, wonderful influence of the things that are happening here. Thank you.
Thank you.
And it's always such a pleasure to see you on board, Jackie. I think we saw each other a few months ago. It was just for a few minutes. I'm
Yeah,
not sure if you remember that.
I do. I saw you on the Ama Christina, and I will see you in a few weeks, Wade, on the
That's
Ama
right.
Lucia. Yeah.
I look forward to that for sure. So thank you for sharing the memories with us. And like Christine said, all what you do for and with us. And also Brenda, you too. I mean, amazing. We're so happy to have you, and we want to hear your story too.
Well, I'm going to just start off by, echoing what Jackie said, which is I'm really honored to actually call myself an AmaWaterways godmother. And part of that has to do with the culture of the company and our leaders, but also looking around to this, and some of them are on the screen here that we've put the picture up, because it's a remarkable group of strong women from the travel industry who've shown leadership and entrepreneurial skills. So the times that we've had an opportunity to be together, there's a bond among us. And I'm very proud to be part of that group of industry women who Christine and Rudy have chosen to be ambassadors for the company. And I also deeply believe and respect in the core values and the knowledge and the integrity that Christine, Rudy, and Gary have shown throughout the day-to-day decision making. And this is particularly touches our hearts and touches me personally now that I actually have the pleasure of working for AmaWaterways, and I see it every day. But the past 2 years, as we all know, it's been pretty challenging for everyone. And to see the steadfast and calm leadership that we've all had from Christine, Rudy, and Gary over the last 2 years is just, to me, such a testament to their strength, and to reinforces the pride I have of being a godmother. There's been a strong commitment to innovation. We've talked about how important that customer care is, and the personal responsibility. And that's brought together what I call our AmaWaterways dream team. And whether it's we've talked about in the ships or in the offices. I just came back from a cruise down the Rhone with Louise, a wonderful cruise manager, and a crew on board that just brought smiles to my face every single day. And I'm confident that we will continue to surprise and delight our guests for many, many years to come. We have such a remarkable team and knowledge and experience. As a final note, we talked about music. And of course, I couldn't close without talking about my godchild, AmaSonata. I'm very proud and very pleased to see that starting next year in 2023, we're going to have something very special with the Musical Connection. It's a celebration of classical music on the Danube. And AmaSonata is going to be the ship that will be doing those itineraries. And it's a perfect opportunity for perhaps a lot of our guests and repeat and loyal guests who have been on the Danube before, but here's a new opportunity to come back, because that's what I find every time I go on a ship, even the same itinerary, I experience totally different things because we have so many choices and things to do. And I always regret, why didn't I try that? Or why should I see that? So please, I hope there's some of our travel advisors and our guests that are listening, and will look into joining us for a celebration of classical music on the Danube on AmaSonata next year. So kisses to everybody, and it's a pleasure to be here today celebrating our 20 years.
Thank you so much, Brenda and Jackie. And I always love your passion, your sparkle, your enthusiasm. And thank you for the loyalty over all these years. And of course, here's to many, many more to come. And I know that we have another godmother of the Ama Magna, of course, the Magnum. She cannot be here today, but we will very shortly play her video. And this is Samantha Brown. Many of you, of course, know Samantha Brown. She is not just an Emmy Award-winning TV host of her PBS travel show Places to Love, but she also became the godmother of our Ama Magna in 2019. And of course, Samantha is traveling. That's why she cannot join us live today. She's traveling to all these places that you will probably love next, but she was kind enough to send us her short video message. So let's play the video, please.
The Brown here, proud godmother of the Ama Magna, coming to you from my terrace in Brooklyn. So if you hear sirens and honks, well, what can I say? It's New York City and I'd rather be on my ship. Just happy anniversary to Rudy, Christine, Gary. Oh my gosh, what a milestone. And it's really impossible to talk about one of my favorite memories of any of my experiences with you, because they're all so wonderful. But one of my favorites was in Wilshaven, where we had the big christening for the ship, and all the townspeople came out, and you just saw right there and then the relationship that the people that live in the towns and the villages that we pull up alongside of have with Ama as well, that it extends far beyond customer service and guests and the crew. It's actually the people who you interact with in these wonderful places that you've dreamt your entire lives of going. And so just know that that is something that comes from 20 years of knowing what to do and how to treat people right. And you do it so well, and I'm so proud to be somewhat even small in a small way affiliated with that, because Ama does mean love, and you certainly you know how to create it and how to keep it going. So again, happy anniversary to 20 more years. I can't wait to toast with you in person.
Video for the first time, like everyone else, I guess, right? Thank you, Samantha. And hey, back to you.
Yeah, first time I saw the video, it was beautiful. And I had mentioned the Ama Magna christening before. It was wonderful. They've all been wonderful, also with you, Brenda and Jackie. We thank you for joining us for this Sip and Sail. We'll see you a little bit later, I hope, because now I will introduce some other very important people to us, actually. Because we talk a lot about the success of AmaWaterways, but we could not do it, of course, without our guests. But our guests are coming to us through our trusted partnerships and our travel advisors. And we're very happy to have two travel advisors with us this evening. I'd like to introduce one at the moment. Christine, you'll introduce the other afterwards, I suppose. But tonight we have with us, or today I should say, because I'm in Switzerland, it's nighttime. We have Ineke Brinkman joining us. Ineke, it's a great pleasure. I have met you a long time ago, actually, and you've been with AmaWaterways for 20 years. And if I'm not mistaken, you are quite an avid traveler. I have been watching you because you have been to 132 countries and territories around the globe, which means that you and I are in a little bit of competition because I'm also an avid traveler. You travel all over the globe. You love to lead groups. It's so wonderful that we've had this partnership with you all of these years. So welcome to the Sip and Sail. And why don't you share with us just a little bit about your last 20 years with AmaWaterways? Oh, I think you're on mute. Yes, now we can hear you.
Okay, thank you very much. Wade, thank you for the introduction. First of all, Christine, Rudy, and the entire Murphy family, congratulations on your 20th anniversary. What a wonderful, wonderful milestone, and I couldn't be happier to be here today. Thank you for asking me to say a few words, because after you invited me to be on the panel, I dug up the AMA cruise groups I've organized and escorted since 2003, and that was shortly after Christine and I and Rudy met in my office. And we organized the Tulip Time cruise to the Netherlands, to my homeland. This was aboard the Symphony, and at that time it was called AmaWaterways until the name changed to AmaWaterways. And the groups that I added up came to the magic number of 20. In addition, there are countless individuals that I've booked over the years. And there is no greater love than booking people on an AmaWaterways riverboat cruise, because I know they come back with raving reviews, and they are certainly my highest repeat clients. And I do it with love and compassion, as that is what AMA stands for. We sailed the Dutch waterways, the Rhine, the Danube Canal, the Douro, the Garonne, Dordogne, the Rhone, the Main, the Moselle, the Seine, the Mekong, and recently the Nile River. The picture you see here in the corner is my partner David and myself, and this goes back to early December last year, in front of the pyramids, of course, in Giza. We celebrated Tulip Time in the Netherlands, Oktoberfest in Germany. We discovered and explored many, many countries. We traveled with war veterans, pilgrims, painters, families, and friends. There are so many wow moments. One of my favorite European itineraries is the Danube River from Nuremberg to Budapest. Passing the Continental Divide on the main Danube Canal, where on a sunny afternoon, we were treated to a blue Curaçao liquor on the deck. And then on the final night, Captain Rien Pauls steered the Amalira slowly under the lit up chain bridge, dividing Buda and Pest. We danced under the stars, and it truly was a magic moment. And this is only one of the many magic moments. Till later. Thank you.
Wow. What magical memories, right? And that's why we have to travel, because we always look forward. The anticipation of such a beautiful trip coming makes us happy. But then once we came back from this trip, and maybe for a while we cannot travel, we always go back to the memories and we remember, and it just makes us happy. So thank you so, so much, Ineke. And I do remember the first day when we were in your office, you wanted to give us 1 minute, right? And it became an hour, and it became a lifelong friendship and partnership. So thank you. And of course, for me also, going back the memory lane was a very special meeting I had. And I don't know if it was at a CLIA conference, the trade show there, or a different one, but it was a conference. And there was a travel manager, her name is Erica. She came to our booth and she looked at everything what we had to offer. And Erica said, Christine, I want to talk outside of this busy trade show. Let's get together. I was born in Budapest, of course, now living in North America. And I would love to do something with us together. And so with a focus on group travel and luxury vacations, Erica has been with AmaWaterways pretty much since the beginning. So Erica Gall, thank you so much for being part of our journey. And please tell our audience how you feel about these last 20 years and being part of the AmaWaterways story.
Oh, and Eric, I think you're also on mute.
Yeah.
The most popular phrase of 2022 is, "Can you hear me?"
Not yet.
No, we can't hear you just yet. Just maybe if you can try to unmute yourself.
Well, I tried.
Yes.
Yes, yes, you've
Is
done
that
it.
good?
Thank you.
Okay. So thank you very much for inviting me for this wonderful celebration. First of all, I'm honored to be here and to be able to talk about my experience over the last 20 years. I am a proud member of your family for the 20 years. And I want to thank you for your business partnership and your friendship during this time and all your support I got to build my business. We started together in 2002 when you started your own cruise business, and I started to focus my group business on European river cruising. And when I heard about you and Rudy, I thought, gee, that is my opportunity to work with these wonderful two people who have all this experience behind them to help me to start and build my own group business. And me raised on the bank of the Danube, being European from Budapest, I was just so proud to work with two other Europeans who had the same kind of mindset that I did at the time. And so we both worked very hard together from the start. I remember we did many, many presentations because river cruising was in baby shoes at the time. People didn't really know much about river cruising, and they didn't know much about the European river cruising particularly. So we had a lot of work to do to educate the public of why they would be river cruising, what is the value of river cruising, and what is the AmaWaterways value of river cruising. So in the meantime, I was building groups just like Ainika did, and I had many, many groups over the years. I don't know the number, it was a lot. And I enjoy doing, booking them and escorting them with my clients. And everybody was always so happy when they came back from an Ama river cruise. They were so satisfied. They loved the experience. So the only question I always have is, where are we going next? It's not a question of who are we going with, it's where Ama is going next. So that's why it's great that you're building all these new programs, because now people have places to go to, because many of my clients have done all the European rivers, just like myself, I did. So when I actually promote or recommend a river cruise to a client as an advisor, I always point out the Ama difference. What makes it so special? And for me, and I think for many of my clients, it's the ambiance on board. That is typical of Ama. That love comes through. When somebody checks in on your cruise, steps on board the first day, they immediately greeted with such love and such attention that, as you said, Christine, they are not just a cabin number, they have a name. And that makes a big difference. Also, your crew, the Ama crew, the dedicated crew on the Ama ships, the very knowledgeable cruise directors who are from the area, and they know every corner of every street where to take the clients and how to direct them. the culinary experience you have on board, the chef's table, the bikes, the pool, the heated pool on the top deck, the wellness program. These are all extra features, and they are all included that resonates with people, and it gives such value that people return without asking. So I want to bring up a program that you will just start in the fall again. It's not a new program because I've been on it before the pandemic, and it's Vietnam and Cambodia. And this program is an outstanding experience for somebody who is interested in history of that part of the world. My program started in Hanoi, and you have this beautiful Sofitel hotel in Hanoi that we stay at. And the guide who introduces himself the first day is with us for 16 days, which is wonderful. So you are not handed over to different guides as you go along. And he takes care of everything for you during the trip, from going from Vietnam to Cambodia, the crossing, the flight checking, everything is taken care of. And what the two things what really the highlights for me from that program is Angkor Wat. To have the sunrise, standing there at Angkor Wat at sunrise, and also the building, the historical sites in Ho Chi Minh City, particularly the ones related to the Vietnam War. Like those are really memories that you will never forget. So I'm glad that you are starting the program back again in October, I think. Is it, Christine, in October?
It is October 17, yes.
Yes, October 17. And so I will have some clients already who are very interested in going on this program because they couldn't do it during pandemic. So congratulations for that and for all the enhancements you and Rudy and your team has done over the years with your river cruising, all your successes. And I really, I'm very happy to be part of this family. And thank you for your support. And I'm looking forward to work with you in the many more years to come.
Thank you, Erica. It means so much to us. And I always say really wonderful partnerships become friendships because you do so many things. You're going through the good and sometimes through the not so good together. And that makes it all so strong.
Absolutely.
And I know, you have been on the Mekong River as well. Tell us about your most favorite memory there.
Oh, it was just, sailing down the Mekong on your beautiful Amadara. And, being on the top deck as we are sailing down the Mekong, seeing all these little villages, how people live, visiting the markets. I remember we went to a beautiful silk factory. We went to visit a school. There is so much. What else did we did there? Workshops. We have seen historical buildings and just walked through between streets and experienced how local live.
Yeah.
It was just an amazing experience. And of course, the ship is beautiful. It is the AMA standard.
Thank you so much, Erica and Ineke. I know you have been on the Mekong as well, and you have some great memories to share too.
Indeed, Kristen, and so much what Erica said, I couldn't agree more. We started in 2012 on the Mekong River, and I've always had a weakness. I'm very fond of Asia, so it was a no-brainer to organize a group, and that was aboard the Margarita in 2012. And as what Erica mentioned, is the immersion with the local people. That's what truly touched us all. Wrapping candies, being on small boats. Was one of the very wow moments was going on the junk boat when we moved from the bus onto a junk boat for an overnight and on a traditional ship, getting up early in the morning, and do yoga on the sun deck with a view of our guests. That was so magical, so serene, and so beautiful. One of those moments that you really want to pinch yourself and you say, I'm here, I'm in Vietnam, and then all the other moments. And indeed, the fantastic hotels, pre and post, are amazing. So we met back the year after in 2013, and a visit to the school that is sponsored by AmaWaterways, where we brought gifts to the students, and the picture what you see below here with the Buddhist monks. So many cultural experiences that leaves an imprint for the rest of your lives. So like you, Erica, we can't wait for Ama to return. It was in 2013 on the Lotus, and now we hope to come back soon in 2023. Thank you.
Wow, thank you. Thank you both for all these years, again, of partnership, friendship. Cheers to you and to all of our spectacular travel advisors. Cheers.
Cheers to Ama.
Cheers.
Cheers to Ama. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Erica and Inika. You mentioned something, about ambiance on board and that the love comes through. And this is coming through because of the people. And it's all about the people, and our guests are coming to us. Like, we love our guests and we love our travel advisors and our partners who are bringing us the guests. And there's so many people then behind the scenes at AmaWaterways that are making all of this happen, that are creating this experience, from our BDMs in North America, to our reservations department, to our office in Calabasas, UK, in Switzerland, our cruise managers, our onboard crew. So many people working with this passion, the P of Christine, of course. And we would like to take the opportunity to introduce some of these AmaWaterways team members. So Erica and Inika, thank you for joining us. We're happy that you could join us for this special Sip and Sail. And now we're going to take the opportunity to just introduce you to just three of many very special people. And Christine, you have the honor of introducing one of my favorite people. Why don't we go ahead and start with that? Shall we invite Angie, Leo, and Debbie to join us?
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And of course, Angie, I feel about you, of course, like my own daughter, right? When we met for the first time on board our very first ship, you were the purser, and managing all our first clients. It was the very first departure. And my own daughter, Isabel, actually came with me. I took her out of school because I had a very wonderful principal who was on board at the same time with his wife, who is a travel advisor. And I was lucky enough, he would always say, 1 week of river cruising for a child is at least 1 month of school. And then he said, actually, I should have said 1 year of school. So all the great experiences that we shared on the very first cruise, later, of course, you became part of our AmaWaterways family in California. But I think I let you talk about all of this, Angie. Like Wade said, your clients, not just our own AmaWaterways team members, love you so much. Your clients, everyone who's working with you, everything that you are touching, it's just, you're beautiful in and out. And we are so lucky to have you as part of our family and your family as well, because now you have twins. They are 10 years old, twin girls. And that goes back to memory lane when my daughter was so little and you met her the first time. So Angie, please tell us everything about.
Thank you so much, Christine. Thank you for having me, and a huge thank you from my heart to all our travel advisors, to all of our guests who have been taking us to a wonderful 20-year journey. I am a little bit emotional. I usually do not talk about myself, but I met Christine and Rudy back in 2003, and I knew from the moment I met them that they will be family. Whether I will stay in Europe or ever move to America, I knew that their dream was my dream. There was a very magical moment when I stepped on board the first European ship, met my hotel manager, Simona, Mehdi, who is now our cruise manager, and the entire AmaWaterways family. From that moment, I knew this was my life. So later on in 2003, I met my husband, and since 2004, I have been in the Ama home here in California, creating a lot of relationships, extending my family inside the office, but also outside, as Christine mentioned. Our travel agents and our guests became family. And I'm always very passionate about our itineraries. I love each and every one of them, but I am a little bit biased when it comes to the gems of Southeast Europe. That is where I am from. I'm from Romania. And talking about this region that is a little bit out of the beaten path, and not everybody have been there, I just want to share that it is a region full of history and very well preserved traditions, a region with a lot of fortresses. And in the end, it still comes to the people. People are extremely friendly, and they can't wait for you to see their countries. One of my most treasured memories was taking our beloved Ben Catalina, our travel agent, who I'm sure is toasting with us today from a different part. He was really so happy to have me lead their group through Romania, meeting my family, having traditional Romanian dishes, including polenta for breakfast, which was something that he never forgot. So these memories and many more are very dear to my heart, and I'm very proud to be part of the journey. I'm wishing everyone a very happy anniversary, and thank you to our leaders for their trust, for their guidance through the years, and for having me in the family. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Angie. Yeah, I just had a tear in my eyes. I'm also very emotional right now. So wait, back to you.
Well, me too, because there are so many, I mean, love stories, and your love story, Angie, it's so moving and it's so touching, you know. And when I think just like the last few weeks, even here in Europe, on May 30th on the Amabella, we had a wedding proposal. On June 6th on the Amabella, we had another wedding proposal in Dürnstein and Budapest. And, you know, like the most romantic setting ever and decorated with roses, just so amazing. We had a wedding proposal in April on the Amastella. The hotel manager, you know, sneaking around with the husband to be, putting the ring in the roses with a cake specially prepared by our onboard pastry chef. So your love story really resonates with so many of us and with our guests who are meeting and falling in love or proposing on board. So when people say Ama means love, they really mean, you know, Ama really does mean love. So thank you for sharing that with us, Angie. And talking about love, I think that Christine probably should introduce the next guest who we have, who is very special to me, of course.
Of course. And this is our Leo. So Leo and Wade have been with AmaWaterways since 2003. And in the beginning, Leo, originally you came from Argentina, Wade from California, but you met on a ship, not a river cruise ship, it was a bigger one. And then you joined us together as part of our AmaWaterways family. We first opened our office in Vienna. And then we decided we moved this office to Basel in Switzerland because Basel is so wonderfully located on the Rhine River. I know today you have a beautiful apartment overlooking actually the docking place of our ships in Basel in Switzerland. But we always call it the sweet country corner between Switzerland, Germany, and France. And so you are, well, Wade is actually responsible of planning ship christening events, hiring and training our extraordinary cruise managers. Leo, you are our Director of Art and Design. And I can never forget, whenever we were in Basel preparing for the next presentations, you would always, sit there with me, look at this, making sure that my presentations would just be the most outstanding, beautiful and colorful ones, because that is really where your heart is. And I always so appreciated this, but I also know you had your special hand in the Amabella and the Amaverde, the two sister ships that we just refurbished during the pandemic, and now they are out. And maybe that's why we have so many wedding proposals on the Amabella, because those are the most romantic ships from the design, from the color schemes. And what you have with AmaWaterways is always consistency, but every ship has his or her own signature and personality. And Leo, you were also in charge of creating our more than 100 AmaWaterways YouTube videos, getting the whole family in. You work mostly in the background because you don't want to be front and center, but everyone loves you so, so much. So do Rudy, Gary, myself. So does our whole family. And I just wanted to say again, how fortunate we are. I personally am. Wade, of course, is to have you as part of our, not just our family, but as part of our life. So now the holidays on board is always a big joy for you. I know this. So maybe you want to tell us a little bit about your reflections on the holidays on board and discovering Christmas with AmaWaterways.
Yes, absolutely, Christine. And in first place, I want to thank you. I feel so honored today to be able to be with all of you. I mean, such beautiful and loved faces that I see here and that I've seen before already showing up on camera. And yeah, regarding the Christmas cruises, the holiday cruises, to me, they represent something very special. And I will tell you why. As you already mentioned, I was born and raised in Argentina. So that, of course, is the Southern Hemisphere. And as such, in the Southern Hemisphere, Christmases are, a barbecue on the backyard, and just relaxed and, just enjoying the view of the stars and outdoors. But all of a sudden, when I joined the team of AmaWaterways team and I came to Europe, I have to tell you, it's like being on board and experiencing the magic of Christmas on board our Ama vessels. It's just, my heart exploded with love, because I feel that at that point is when I realized that I had left a family behind all the way so far away in Argentina, and being on board with the magic of Christmas, with the beautiful sparkling eyes of the crew decorating the interiors of the ship and singing Christmas carols and having Santa visiting, and also the intimacy of being with such a small amount of guests, where you really, I felt, well, I left my family behind, but I found a real family here as well. So I think in a way that brought me to learn my very first German word, which actually is gemütlich. And you very well know what the meaning of this word is, which is, coziness, warmth, and that embodies pretty much what our Christmas cruises are about. So I found my family since that moment, and I was hooked for life. And I am sure that if our guests or our travel advisors have not yet experienced one of our Christmas cruises, I really encourage you to go, because it's just something really magical, something out of this planet. So I wanted to share that with you, and the special memory. I have many special memories along these many years together, and and a lot of love for all of you and for our travel advisors and my co-workers and these companies. Thank you for letting me be part of this amazing, amazing, amazing company.
Thank you, Leo.
Leo, I mean, you couldn't have said it better, really, because, and you know that I also love Christmas, and I have to make sure that we have the most beautifully decorated ships in all of Europe for Christmas, because I'm so passionate about Christmas. And it's funny talking about you and Argentina because, you know, we have now, in Europe, we have over 85 cruise managers. We have 4 cruise managers in Vietnam, and we have 3 cruise managers in Egypt, and soon we're going to have cruise managers in Colombia as well. So we have a huge team all over the world. And I mentioned when we started our Sip and Sail that in 2003, when I joined, I was cruise manager. But when Leo and I opened the office of Europe, I had to replace myself. So we were talking about that a long time ago in Argentina when Leo came to me and he said, you know, in my German class, I met this girl who is absolutely amazing and you should consider her. I'm like, no. I said, no, she lives in Argentina. It's not, you know, it's not possible. He says, look, just meet her. She's wonderful. She's moving to Germany. She's in love. And so I ended up meeting Debbie, who you see here on the screen. When you meet Debbie, you just have to have her. You have to have her as your cruise manager. So Debbie, out of love, moved to Germany, became cruise manager in 2005. She was the first cruise manager that I hired when I stopped being cruise manager, and has always done an amazing job. And I have to say, all of our cruise managers are so unique and so amazing. We're so proud of all of them. So if any of you are listening, know that we're proud of you. You do such an amazing job. And, you know, and Debbie, all of the years that you've been with us, thank you so much for your loyalty and all what you've done. And yeah, tell us a little bit about your journey now.
Well, thanks, Wade, for such a nice introduction. And thank you all. It's just like a huge honor to be part of this celebration. And I'm so proud to even be part of this family. Like what you said, I started in 2005 and it's been 17 years. But back then when I joined, I just didn't know what I was getting myself into. And I'd like to share one memory I have, and it includes Christine and Rudy, because it was one of my first cruises back in 2006. And we're talking about love and family. And I had a very special guest, and her name was Sally. And Sally was traveling alone because she had recently lost her husband. So she was a solo traveler on board the AmaWaterways. And I was also very excited because Rudy and Christine were supposed to come on board, and I've never met Rudy and Christine. So this was a huge thing. That afternoon when I came back to the ship after an excursion, I found actually Rudy was talking to Sally. And he was just not talking to Sally, but he invited Sally on a private tour of Miltenberg. And Sally could not walk that well, so she had to take a wheelchair. And Rudy took Sally all over Miltenberg on those cobblestones, up and down the hills. And I was just going with the tours next to Rudy, and they were having so much fun. They were sharing stories, and I could tell Rudy was telling about, the things that they were looking at together. And that was the moment when I realized what I was getting myself into and who I was working for, and this whole family story and this love that just grew bigger and bigger with time. So that's how I met Rudy, and that's how I met lovely Christine, who has always inspired me tremendously as a young woman to have my first talk with Christine. I remember I just, I admire you, and yes, I just always wanted to be a little bit like you. That's just that. Ama means love. And I think that everyone that comes on board our ships experiences that, and everyone who is part of this family experiences that. So like I said in the beginning, I am just truly honored to be part of it. And I can't wait for all the years to come to spend more time with all of our guests and our travel advisors and my colleagues and build new memories. And thank you very much, everyone. Yes, thank you.
And thank you. And Debbie, one of my biggest memories was when you, as a young cruise manager, 23, 24 years old, on your very first cruise, one of the evenings, sang for our guests, "Don't Cry for Me, Argentina." That was so emotional, so powerful, so moving. And you are just the greatest personality, and everyone knows it. And we had so many wonderful guests and travel advisors saying, tell me when Debbie is traveling again and being the cruise manager. I know you have two beautiful daughters now, but eventually you do some cruises at this moment because family is important, but eventually you will be back and you have so many fans. So thank you for all these years, for everything. And talking about Sally and solo travelers, I really have to say that river cruising is providing the best home for solo travelers. And we have quite many, similar to Sally, who maybe lost their husband or not in a relationship, or the husband just doesn't want to travel and they still want to travel. And so it is a very safe environment. Our crew takes care of everyone. I see so many actually celebrating the holidays, Christmas, New Year's Eve, on board our ships, because our crew is their family and they always want to be this way. So if you have these solo travelers, be sure to talk to them about AmaWaterways, because they will just have the most wonderful experience on board. And so Wade, I know Debbie is of course a wonderful ambassador for our cruise managers, but we have so many, 70. Please tell us all about.
Well, actually, it's, I mean, first of all, Angie, Debbie, Leo, thank you so much for really being part of our family, because you are part of our family. Angie, I have my Christmas ornaments every year on my Christmas tree that you gave to us. Thank you for joining us and for being part of the Sip and Sail. And Christine, you know, like I said, over 85 cruise managers. You see the picture here, our cruise managers and crew. It's been an amazing 20 years, and we have so many more memories we're going to make. I know you want to talk a little bit about what's coming now in the future before we actually going to make a final toast, right?
Yes, I know time is just running away, right? And so, yes, looking into the future, to the next chapter, chapter 3, right? The next decade. So we are continuing to innovate. In 2023, starts our first 7-river journey through Europe. And probably all of you know that whenever you take this long flight to Europe, you want to stay longer there. And yes, you can combine so many different river cruises, but we want to make it easy. We have combined the 7-river journey in 23, one in spring, one in summer, one in fall, for you. 7 rivers, 14 countries, 46 nights, one epic journey. We take care of everything, including the transportation. Then we have to change ships, all the gratuities included, even your laundry is included, because we don't want you to take 7 suitcases on 7 rivers. So this will be a celebration. And as Rudy mentioned, 2024, we start with river cruising in Colombia on Rio Magdalena. The Magdalena River is the spine of Colombia. The locals are so proud that we are coming to open the river, and nothing is brochured yet. So right now we can only talk about this. We are in the beginning stages of the development, but you know, we will be in touch with you very soon with all the news that we want to share. In 2024 also comes our second ship on the Nile, the beautiful AmaLilia, because we have seen the AmaDahlia has been selling out the entire season. There is so much demand, and we of course would like to have you on board and show you this amazing country. And this brings me now to the final toast. You have seen through this 1.5 hours, here at AMA, we try to put love into everything we do. And our unique heritage, Rudy was born in Vienna on the Danube in Austria. I was born in Germany and Dresden on the Elbe River. And so many, like Angie, and so many of our AmaWaterways family members you know, have some heritage in Europe or in South America, but also in Asia and in Africa, all the different parts of the world where we are cruising. So our belief in the good that travel brings to the world, and our deep connection and respect for the timeless rivers and the remarkable communities we visit. And we want many of you to come and join us in the future to discover such a remarkable journey. So I would like to propose a toast to the core values that have brought us to where we are today and will continue to lead us into the future. And this is passion, positivity, personal interaction, partnerships, and pioneering spirit. So my 5P pillars. And you all know the quote that I feel so strong about it, but I want to say it here with all of you. I have learned that people will forget what you said. People
Forget what you
will
did.
forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. And this comes from Maya Angelou. So cheers to all of you, and thank you for being part of our AmaWaterways family. Cheers.
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 Happy 20th anniversary.
Happy 20th.
Happy 20 years. And to many more years to come. Yes.
Cheers to all of
Cheers,
you.
everybody.
A big
Yeah.
thank you to all who have joined us this evening, to the entire AmaWaterways family, all of our travel advisors, our guests, our crew, our cruise managers, to everyone who contributes to this amazing AmaWaterways family. And from all of us, a big thank you to Rudy, Christine, and Gary for having the dream and changing all of our lives. Thank you. Thank you for
Thank
joining
you.
us, and cheers
Thank
to
you so
everyone.
much.
Cheers.
Bye, everyone. Bye-bye.